Now this is going to be my second video for the review, Unit 5 review. And we're going to be doing number 5. Remember, you can do this on the calculator. You can enter this on the first, on Y1, this on Y2. Go to second trace, number 5. Try to move the cursor where you think the intersection is and press enter 3 times and voila, that would be your intersection. Now, let's do this manually. Now, the first thing that you should do is you have to factor the denominator. I cannot factor x plus 4, so I'm going to copy that. Can't factor x plus 3, I'm going to copy that. Now, something that would multiply to give you 12 and add to give you 7. 3 and 4. So 3 and 4. Now, as you can see, most of the time is going to be something that's already over there. There you go. So, now, before I continue, what are my exclusions? -3, -4, -3, -4. So my exclusions are going to be -3 and -4. So keep that in mind when you get the solution at the end. Now, after I factor, I need to find the LCD. So what's the LCD? X plus 3 and x plus 4. So I'm going to put an x plus 4 over here. And I'm going to put an x plus 3 over here. So LCD is basically all the denominators multiplied by each other. And if it's already there, like mentioned twice, you only write it once. Okay, now compare. Now remember, when you factor this, you get x plus 3 and x plus 4. Now, compare exactly the same. So 12x plus 19, you copy it. You do not multiply it by anything. Now, this one, what's missing? X plus 4. So you multiply 3 by x plus 4. Now I like this problem because most of you forget about the negative over here. Forget to distribute that. So this one, compare it. What's missing? X plus 3. So you multiply 5 by x plus 3. There you go. Now we multiplied by what's missing. So you cancel out the denominator. And only in equations, yes. So copy the top. Remember, you need to distribute not 3, but -3. So -3 times x is -3x. -3 times 4 would be -12. There you go. 5x plus 15. Okay. Now, there is, as you can see, no x squared. So to solve this, you need to isolate the x. X on one side and a number on the other. So 12x minus 3x would be 9x. 19 minus 12 would be 7. Now subtract 5x. 9x minus 5x is 4x plus 7 equals to 15. Then you need to subtract 7. So 4x is equal to 15 minus 7 would be 8. Then you divide by 4, so my x is 2. Compare it to the exclusion. It's not one of the exclusions, so that would be my solution, acceptable. Now, let's move on. We did 6 in the first video, so I'm going to move on to number 7. Let's read this word problem. Working alone, Ryan can dig a 10-foot by 10-foot hole in 5 hours. So Ryan alone can dig that in 5 hours. Castell can dig the same hole in 6 hours. How long would it take them if they worked together? Now, I don't really care how deep this hole is. I only care how long it takes Ryan to dig that hole, which is 5 hours. How long it take Castell to do the job, it's 6 hours, and together, I do not know, this is what I want, so x is going to be the tt, which is the time together. So the rule is either 1 over the time it takes Ryan plus 1 over it takes Castell, the second person, equals to 1 over the time it takes them together, so x. This would be one equation. Another, and that's my favorite, you do the tt, so x over the first person plus tt. In this case, I don't know how much the time together is, so that's x over this time it takes the second person equals to 1 always, because they're together, they're going to be finishing only one job. So tt, time together, over the time of the first person, plus tt, time it takes them to finish the work together, over the time it takes the second person. Together they're going to finish one job. Now, this is how you set it up. To solve it, you get a common denominator. So this is 1 over 1. So 5 times 6 would be 30, so you always multiply them. Now multiply by what's missing. 5 times what would give you 30 times 6, so you multiply x by 6. 6 times what give you 35, so you multiply x by 5. 1 times what give you 30, 30. 1 times 30 is 30, so you multiply 1 by 30. Then you cancel out the denominator. You have 6x plus 15x, so that's 11x equals to 30. Divided by 11, x equals 30 divided by 11 would be 2.73 hours. So together it takes them less than 3 hours. Good, great. Now we are on the second page. So let's just disregard 9 and also disregard number 8. Now we're going to move on to number 10. Working together, Jenny and Natalie can mop this warehouse in 15.14 hours. So TT is 5.14, which is the time together. Hours, don't forget the units. Had she done it alone, it would have taken Natalie 12 hours. So Natalie, this is the first person, it takes her 12 hours. How long would it take Jenny to do the work alone? So x would be the time it takes Jenny. So TT over the first person plus TT over the second person is equal to 1. The denominator would be 12 times x times 1, that would be 12x. Now, compare what's missing, x, so 5.14 times x. Compare what's missing, 12, so multiply 12 by 5.14. Yes, you need a calculator for that. 12x, what do you multiply 1 by? By 12x, so that's what's missing, so 12x on top. Then what do? You cancel out the denominator. Now, 5.14x plus, what is 12 times 5.14? 61.68. Okay, so 61.68 is equal to 12x. Now, you isolate the x's, so subtract 5.14x from both. You would get that 61.68 is equal to whatever 12 minus 61.68. I mean, 12 minus 5.14. How much is that? 6.86 x. Now you divide by 6.86. So, what would be x, or what would x be? X would be whatever 61.68 over 6.86 would be, and that's like 8.99, so it's almost like 9 hours for Jenny to finish the work. Don't forget the unit, and don't forget to explain to me. Let's try to move it together. Okay, there you go. I think I need more space for this one. Now, I love those problems. I hope you like it too. Now, 11. Now, a catbird spends an afternoon paddling up a river. Remember. She travels 3 miles upstream, remember. 3 miles downstream, in a total of 4 hours. It means whatever I'm going to add, it's going to end up to be 4 hours, remember? So they said a total of 4 hours. If the speed of the current is 1 miles per hour, so that's going to be the one that's speeding me up or slowing me down. Remember, it's always distance over whatever you have on the bottom. In this case, it's speed to give you the time, so distance over speed. This is a better S. Okay, so what's the distance to go upstream? 3. What's the distance to go downstream? 3. So this is going to be your upstream, this is going to be your downstream. Now, what is the speed going upstream against the current? So it's going to take me, it's going to slow me down, so x minus the current, which is 1. Now going downstream, the current is going to speed me up, so x plus 1. There you go. So 3 over x minus 1 plus 3 over x plus 1 equals to 4. I think I need more space for that. Okay, so let me make this bigger. Try to solve over here. So then my two fractions are 3 over x minus 1 plus 3 over x plus 1 equals to 4. Now, the common denominator would be everything multiplied in front of you. So x minus 1 and x plus 1, x minus 1 and x plus 1, and x minus 1 and x plus 1. Now, compare. X plus 1 is missing, so 3 times x plus 1. Now, this one, compare, so missing x minus 1, so you multiply 3 by x minus 1. Compare. Everything is missing, so you multiply 4 by x minus 1 times x plus 1. Cancel out the denominator, so you have 3x plus 3. 3x minus 3 equals, when you have something like that, first of all, FOIL those. So x squared plus x minus x minus 1. Those cancel out. Plus x minus x is nothing. Okay, and then you have 4 into all of that. That scared me. Okay, now remember to FOIL the 4. So it's always easier to FOIL those first, and then you FOIL the 4. So x squared minus 1, FOIL 4 into them, you get 4x squared minus 4. Now, as you can see, you have a square, so move everything to one side of the equation. So 3x plus 3x, that would be 6x. Those cancel out. 3 minus 3 is gone. Equals 4x squared minus 4 minus 6x minus 6x. So you have 4x squared minus 6x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now, for my academic class, you can enter this in your calculator into y equals. Then you can go to second, trace, number 2, which is the 0, and you can find the left and right bound wherever it touches the x-axis, or you can go to second table to find. So after you enter it in y equals, you can go to second table and try to find the numbers when you have, or the x values when you have y equals 0. And you'll see that you will have it at 2. You do have another value, but it's a negative value, it's a negative half, so you don't care about that. So try to look for the x values when y is equal to 0. So let me say it again. So you enter this in your y equals, so y equals 4x squared minus 6x minus 4. You go to your second table, you look for the x when y is 0, and that would be 2. Now, for my pre-AP, guys, take 2 outside, because this is a common factor. My regular, you can do the same thing too, okay? So you can see that there's a GCF, which is a 2, you take it outside. Now, try to think of two numbers when you multiply, you would get the AC, which is negative 4. And whenever you add, you would get the middle one, which is negative 3, and the two numbers are negative 4 and 1. So you have negative 4 and 1. Remember, always divide by a. In this case, a is 2. Now simplify after you divide by a, so negative 2. So you have x minus 2 and x plus half to be your answers. So from this, you can get x equals 2 and x equals negative half. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Bottoms up. Yes, yes, bottoms up. So this would be 2x plus 1, but I'm really interested in the roots. So if you didn't do bottoms up, it's fine. So the two roots are 2 and negative half. Since we are talking about speed, speed can never be a negative. So you disregard this answer. Your answer would be 2. And what's the unit? Miles per hour, and you are right. So I think my video, this one is like almost 15 hours. So if I go longer, I cannot upload this to YouTube. So I'm gonna stop here and you can continue with my third video.